Talofa and a warm welcome and good day, everyone. Welcome to another webinar workshop brought to you and made possible by the American Samoa Alliance Against Domestic and Sexual Violence. Once again, we are in April, and every year for the Alliance, it is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And as a commitment to well-being, safe care, self-care, mental health, and healing, the Alliance wanted to host a workshop like today's, where our facilitator for today, Mary, will be able to guide us towards owning our stories and processing our experiences through writing. Whether we hope to develop a journaling habit for our mental health or just openly sharing our stories with others, we have to start somewhere. And today, this workshop, though online, can be the starting point for many of us. So once again, welcome to today's workshop, everyone. I am Judy Matoti. I'm the training coordinator for the American Samoa Alliance Against Domestic and Sexual Violence. And it has been a privilege and an honor for me to be working with Mary for the past few months. Mary has been doing some workshops, facilitating some workshops here with the Alliance staff, and has already started doing some with the community, with the Alliance, in partnership with the Alliance. So I'm sure many of us here today are wondering who Mary is. So if you don't know who Mary is, allow me to introduce today's workshop facilitator to everyone. Mary's a writer and workshop facilitator, and is living in American Samoa. She earned her bachelor's in English, creative writing from Winthrop University, and after graduation, she began teaching in France, traveled through Europe and North Africa, finally moved to American Samoa, where she's sharing all of this experience. Mary's fiction and reviews have been published in Bull Magazine, Heavy Feather Review, Back Patio Press, and many more. And during her travels to several destinations, Mary has ghostwritten blog posts and articles for companies, private jet charters, boat tour providers, real estate companies, and many more. Her business, Malanga Creative Co., provides writing services and workshop facilitation for clients in American Samoa and beyond. In writing, she offers a variety of writing services. Her goal is to help businesses or nonprofit organizations grow through the use of creative storytelling. She offers content writing, copywriting, social media writing, and grant writing. And in workshop facilitation, Mary offers workshops for both professional and personal development. And these workshops use writing to help participants improve their communication skills, cope with stress, and so much more. So please welcome our facilitator for today's workshop, Mary Bordenaro. Thank you, Mary, for joining us. I know today is Tuesday. It's one of your busiest days in the week, but we are so grateful that you're here to share some of this information with us. I'm sure you know, but as a Pacific Islander, I'm so proud to say that we are known to be great storytellers, and yes. And you've, for the past couple of weeks, few months, and not that I've become a great storyteller now, but I just want to let everybody know that I can actually write. I can actually write now, and thanks to Mary, I'm able to put that pen to the paper and make my creative juices, have my creative juices flowing, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing. My experience with Mary is just amazing. So, no further ado, I'm going to let Mary take over, or else I will just keep going, Mary. Sorry. So, thank you for joining us once again.
Thank you so much, Judy. That's probably the nicest introduction I've ever heard. So hello, everyone, and welcome to the Owning Our Stories webinar. We I've been doing a healing through writing workshop through the Alliance to help people in our community here in American Samoa to be able to cope with various traumas, various life events, and also just everyday stresses using writing. Writing is an amazing way to increase your mindfulness, to tell your story and to own your story, because everybody's story is different. So that's the focus of this workshop today. If you are interested in coming to a workshop at the Alliance in person with me next month, and I'm sure Judy will probably talk about this at the end, but next month we're doing another community workshop. It's a 3-part workshop, so 1 afternoon each week. And that workshop covers journaling and poetry writing, which is a really great creative expression. Today's is about journaling and meditation and storytelling. So I guess let's get into it with the first slide. All right, so what are the goals of this webinar? In this webinar, you will, 1, learn what researchers have found about the benefits of things like journaling, storytelling, mindfulness. Number 2, discover how you can incorporate practices such as meditation and journaling into your daily life. Number 3, explore the impact that storytelling can have on your life as a survivor. And number 4, write and express yourself in a safe space. So today we're going to be doing some writing. If you don't have a piece of paper and a pen, open up a Word document or a Google Doc. Get out your phone, the notes page on your phone to do some typing, whatever is nearest to you for you to express yourself through writing. Go ahead and grab that and get ready for some writing exercises. And please know that, this is a safe space. If anyone either watching via Zoom or watching on Facebook, after we do certain writing exercises, I will ask, does anyone want to share even a little bit of what they wrote? If you want to type a little comment that says, hey, I wrote about this, or this surprised me, I didn't anticipate this coming out of my brain, please do, please share. And we always share in the workshops we do that I've been doing at the Alliance's office. I understand that it's different via webinar, but if you are interested in sharing what you've written, please do. So Judy gave me a much better introduction than I've given myself in these slides. So a bit about me. I'm Mary Bordenaro, the owner of Malanga Creative Co. And through my business, I work as a writer and a workshop facilitator. And Judy told you all the details about that. But writing is an important part of my life. It's a very constant part of my life, both professionally and personally. And I spend my time sharing the benefits of writing with anyone who will listen. Please know that for this webinar or for any workshops that you may do with me, I'm not your high school English teacher. I'm not here to give you a grade. I'm not here to pass judgment. I'm just here to inspire you to write and to use writing to get to know yourself a little more, to cope with stress. So yeah, please don't think that I'm going to be sitting here judging any thoughts that come out of your brain in your journal, or that I expect perfectly written Shakespearean words to come out of you. It can be a mess, and that's okay, because the inside of our brains is a lot of times a mess, and that's okay if what comes out on the page seems messy. That's kind of the point. So in the next slide, we look at stream of consciousness journaling. So this is something that we do in the Healing Through Writing workshop that I facilitate with the Alliance. Stream of consciousness journaling requires you to be an observer of your own mind. And it is a great activity to pair with meditation. This kind of journaling can help to increase your mindfulness. According to the University of California, Berkeley, mindfulness means maintaining a moment-by-moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, bodily sensations, and surrounding environment through a gentle, nurturing lens. Mindfulness and stream of consciousness writing is focused on being present and having awareness. We're going to do some stream of consciousness writing later. And when you do stream of consciousness, the point is not to judge what comes out of your pen. You write what you think, and you don't judge it as good or bad. You just write what you're thinking, and that's okay if it skips mid-sentence. You know, if it's partly your grocery list and partly your anxieties about your marriage and partly a memory from your childhood, that's okay. That's the point of stream of consciousness writing. So the benefits of mindfulness and meditation, because this stream of consciousness writing activity pairs really well with a short meditation, with mindfulness activities. In just a moment, we'll be doing a guided meditation. I'll be leading you through a guided meditation in preparation for our stream of consciousness writing. According to the Mayo Clinic, some of the benefits of habitual meditation practice include a lower resting heart rate, lower resting blood pressure, better sleep quality, improved stress management, and increased creativity and patience. And I don't just say this as somebody who, you know, Googled, how can meditation make me healthier, and put it on the slide. I did because I wanted to find a good source. The Mayo Clinic is a good source. But I say this as somebody who has been meditating consistently. You know, I first learned about a year ago. I went through a bit of a rough patch in my life, and I decided that I wanted to find a good, healthy coping mechanism because I don't always have a good history of finding healthy coping mechanisms. So I thought, I am going to learn to meditate. I went to a class where I took a 10-day vow of silence and meditated for hours and hours every day. And then I came out of it and didn't meditate at all for months. And then I started meditating, and I started with 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes. And then I was doing 15 minutes a day. And then I thought, no, I can do better. I started doing 30 minutes a day, 45 minutes a day, more and more. And the more I meditated, the more I saw the benefits. And when I was talking to, you know, Jennifer Tofayono, to Judy about planning this workshop, you know, when I was putting together the curriculum for this and for the Healing Through Writing workshop, I knew that I wanted meditation to be a part of it, because you're not going to be able to journal honestly, be authentic in your thoughts without relaxing a little bit first and without just being aware. You need to be aware. So meditation, I think, is key to some of the benefits of this webinar and to the Healing Through Writing workshop at the Alliance's office. And, you know, the people that have done it in person with me seem to have enjoyed it. So we're going to do some of that today. So today we are doing a guided meditation. For this guided meditation, and this is the same guided meditation, if you could just take a moment and close your eyes. Find a comfortable position to sit in. You can lean back in your chair. If you need to put your head on the table, you can. Whatever position is comfortable for you to be sitting in, please do. All right. Everyone take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. One more time, take a deep breath in and out. Continue to take deep breaths in a rhythm that feels comfortable to you. Before we can be fully aware of our thoughts, our stream of consciousness, we can start with being aware of our bodies. Feel the breath coming in your nose, cool and fresh, and out of your nose, warmed up. Try to bring your awareness to your breath, how it feels on and in your nose, how it causes your chest to expand and contract. Let's just take a couple of moments just to breathe in a pace that feels comfortable for you. You don't have to breathe in for 5 seconds, breathe out for 5 seconds. Don't worry about that. Just breathe comfortably, but focus on the feelings that come with that breath. The feelings in your nose, the feelings in your chest. So let's just be silent for a moment and breathe. Now that we've focused our awareness on our breath, we're going to move our awareness up to the top of our heads. Feel any sensations you can feel up here at the top of your head. Is the fan or the AC or the wind moving your hair a little bit? Is your ponytail a little too tight? Feel whatever sensations there are. Your forehead, the top of your head. Let's move down. Feel all the sensations in your face. If you're wearing glasses, keep your eyes closed. But if you're wearing glasses, feel how the glasses sit on your nose. If you have a headache, sit with that feeling for a little bit. If your nose itches, don't try to scratch it. Just accept that it itches and that it's a temporary feeling. It will pass. Move down into your neck and your shoulders. We carry a lot of tension there. Take a second to notice each sensation you feel. Acknowledge that sensation, good or bad, and just let it exist. Your neck and shoulders hold a lot of tension. Continue to move down to your arms, your hands. Now let's move into our chest. Focus on your heartbeat for a second. You can continue to feel how your air causes your chest to expand and contract through your breathing. Move down into your stomach. Maybe your stomach feels good because you just ate a big breakfast. Maybe it's rumbling because you forgot to eat breakfast, like me. Whatever the sensations you feel are, acknowledge them. Don't get stuck on whether they're good or bad. Just acknowledge that they exist. Move down your torso, your back and your front, down into your legs, your knees, your calves, your feet. Before we move on in our meditation, I want you to take a minute and keep your eyes closed, but I want you to take a minute and go ahead and move your shoulders a little bit, move your head a little bit. If your knees are sore, stretch out your legs a bit. Do what you can to get comfortable. Now that we are fully present in our bodies, I want you to be present in your mind and in your heart. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? To do this, we're going to do a bit of visualization. I want you to imagine a stream or a river. It can be as large or as small as you'd like, as quick or as slow as you'd like. It can be a real place from a memory or from a magazine, or it can be imaginary or something you saw in a movie or a book. So take a moment and imagine that stream or that river, the plants that are growing on the banks, the color of the water, how fast the current is flowing. Is the sun shining? Is it rainy? Okay. Now that you have fully visualized that stream or that river, whenever you're ready, I want you to walk into that stream, lay down on your back and float. Let the current take you down the stream. Please know that you are totally safe. You cannot drown in this stream. You cannot be hurt. All you have to do is let the current take you where the stream, where the river is headed. This stream is like your thoughts. When we do stream of consciousness journaling, we're not trying to pick out specific thoughts. We're not trying to control the current. Because we can't control the current of a river any more than we could fully control the current of our thoughts. Yes, there are ways that we can control our thoughts, and it's good to learn those things, but sometimes we can't control everything. We are simply floating along in this meditation, in this writing exercise, to see where the current takes us. Take a moment to float along your stream of consciousness, keeping your attention on your thoughts that may pop up, thoughts that come and go. So just float along for a moment and see what pops into your mind. Be an observer of what you're thinking and where your stream, where this current is taking you. Whenever you are ready, and please take your time, I'd like you to open your eyes, grab a pen and paper, open up a Google Doc or a Word document, open up the Notes app on your phone, whatever you have available. I want you to write whatever is in your head. Begin your stream of consciousness journaling. So you write whatever is in your head as it pops up into your head. If we look at the next slide, I've written some guidance there. During this exercise, you will, number one, write whatever thoughts are in your head as they appear in your head. Number two, refrain from judging your thoughts as good or bad. Just write the honest reality of your thoughts. Number three, keep writing. Don't hold back or limit yourself, even if you're stopping mid-sentence to start a new thought. That is perfectly fine. So I'm going to give you a few moments just to write. And then maybe we'll do some sharing or get some comments from Facebook. As you write, don't hold yourself back because you think that what you're writing is boring or what you're writing makes you a bad person. You don't have to share everything you write with anyone. I'd love for you to share at least one thought, but you don't have to. And I meant what I said earlier. You can jump from your grocery list to that fight you had with your mother last week, to your fears about, your fear of the dark when you were a little kid. Whatever pops in your head, just write about it. Okay. Now, is there anyone who's participating, who's watching, either via Zoom or on Facebook, who would like to share what you wrote? And you can share by typing it in the comments. You can share by, if you're on the Zoom, maybe the Alliance could bring your screen up and you could share if you'd like. This is something we spend quite a lot of time doing at the Healing Through Writing workshop at the Alliance's office. We do a writing exercise, and then people share even just one sentence of what you wrote. Okay, well, that's all right. It's not required. Oh, we have someone shared. All right. Monica. My stream of thoughts were everywhere. I began with writing about Easter and then remembering the many tasks we have to finish at work. I saw my earring from the beautiful admin team that they brought back from Hawaii. Okay. Leto says, from Facebook says, I don't want to share, but I would like to say thank you for doing this workshop. Oh, Monica, that's so nice that you had those happy thoughts of vacation and the holiday with Easter. And in the middle of all those happy thoughts, there's remembering the many tasks that you have to complete at work. So thoughts are very rarely just one feeling. There's normally a lot of feelings associated with different thoughts, different experiences. So Monica has happy feelings about the holiday, about gifts that she was given from friends who went on vacation. She also had a little bit of stress about a lot of the tasks she has to complete at work. So one way that stream of consciousness can help is that it can provide you with a way to kind of look at all the different feelings that you're feeling in a given moment, all the different thoughts that are circling around your brain. It can help you to get to know yourself a little bit better. Let's see what else has been shared. Let's see. Leah says, I am sitting by the lake at Frederick, Wisconsin. It is a cold autumn morning and the leaves have turned colors, orange, yellow, red, and some green. I don't know why I'm sitting there and what I'm thinking about, but there are some uncertainties in my mind. I get in the water and realize that it's cold. I'm floating, yet still in cold water. The water is still, and I start moving my hands and feet to keep me afloat. The water is not taking me anywhere, and I realize that I'm the one moving in various directions. I realize that I like to be in control. Wow. Leah, that is amazing insight. So from this meditation and visualization, one of our participants realized that she didn't even visualize a body of water with a current. She visualized a lake, a still lake, and she moved herself through it. She didn't let go to a current. She moved herself through the lake, and that helped her see that she likes to be in control. And that's great insight. I think that's one thing that stream of consciousness writing can do for you, is it can open up insights into your patterns of thinking, into how you're interacting with the world and with yourself. So thank you for sharing that. Also, your writing is beautiful. I want to go to that lake. Wow. Let's see. Oh yeah, well, don't thank me, Leah. Thank you for participating, and thank you for sharing. Stream of consciousness writing, if done on a regular basis, can really help with picking out thought patterns you didn't realize you had. It can help you get to know yourself in a deeper way, get to know how your brain works. And it's also a great way just to take a couple minutes for yourself every day. Spend 5 minutes just focusing on your thoughts. Do some breathing and then write for 5 minutes. Now we're going to move on to, unless anyone has anything else to share, I'd love to hear if anyone has anything to share. If not, we will move on to our next activity. So in the next slide, it says journaling with writing prompts. So today's webinar has a focus on storytelling, on owning our stories as survivors. The following prompts that I've written for this webinar are meant to help you dive into your story. What happened? Who are the main characters? What conflicts did you face and maybe even overcome? Even if you never share your story with others, writing about it in a private journal can help you to process what happened and take steps forward. It's important to note that in terms of owning your story, your trauma, the things that you went through that affected you very deeply in traumatic ways, that's not the entirety of your story. And today, with the writing prompts that I've come up with, if you don't feel like writing directly about your trauma, sharing your trauma live on a webinar, you don't have to. Please don't feel like you have to. You write whatever comes to mind when you see the writing prompts. All right? All right, so let's go to the first prompt. If your life was a book, who would the main characters be? Who's the villain? Who's the hero? So just take a moment and write about what pops in your head when you see this prompt. If you opened up a book about your life and you were reading it, who would the hero of the book be? Who's the villain? Who's the character that doesn't fit into either of those labels? And again, you can be writing on a piece of paper, in a Google Doc, the Notes app on your phone, whatever you have available. I'm going to play some music while you guys write. Here. All right. Who would like to share what they wrote? You don't have to give the names of your characters. You can just describe them to us if you'd like. Especially if one of the characters is you. All right. Let's see here. Monica says, the main character would be me. The villain would be the negative thoughts that I have that constantly try to pull me down. I'd visualize my thoughts as a person and name them Mr. Think. The hero would be my heart, only because sometimes our thoughts can be overpowering and we listen to our hearts to make a decision for us. At least that's what we like to think. She would be called Mrs. Love. At least these are the names I have for now until I come up with something better. Every day is a constant battle between what the mind thinks and what the heart wants. With my life, I always end up in a corner overthinking. Then I'd reach over to my heart and ask, what should I do? Or tell me if I'm wrong. And find that sometimes thinking with your heart brings out the best person in me. And that's what I base my story on, the daily battles of emotions, thinking, and important decision making in a young adult's life. Okay, Monica, that's great. I love that. So Monica writes that in the story of her life, it would be kind of a battle between characters that represent her head and her heart, which I think is something that a lot of people definitely experience, that kind of conflict between what we think and what we feel. So that's very interesting, and I love that. And yeah, in this exercise, the book of your life doesn't have to be the exact reality of it. You can use, symbols. You can use imaginary characters like Monica is using to kind of better understand. She's using that to better show what she feels is kind of a main conflict in her life right now. It's not necessarily with outside people or with somebody that's hurt her necessarily. For her, it's the overthinking that happens up here. That's what she's struggling with each day. So thank you for sharing that, Monica. It was really creative. Let's see. Okay. Leto shared that the villains, my father, my older sister, and the military doctor who sexually assaulted me. The hero is myself, but hard to see myself that way. Hard to see myself as an adult and not the child, teenager who went through these things. I mean, thank you for sharing that. I think that we are the main characters in our stories, at least hopefully, but it can be hard to see ourselves as the hero of the story, especially if we have a lot of negative self-talk. We might see ourselves as the villain sometimes. But no, I mean, thank you for sharing that. Let me see that again. The hero is myself, but it's hard to see myself that way. Wow. She also says it's hard to see yourself as an adult and not as the child or the teenager that was assaulted. And that can also be a normal feeling. It's easy to feel stuck at whatever age you were or whatever time it was when something bad happened. But the truth is, you have aged, you have grown, you've changed. And I think that seeing yourself as the hero of your story is a really good first step to acknowledging how much you've grown and changed since those bad things happened. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. Is there anyone else who'd like to share? Thank you, Monica and Leto. Thank you so much. All right. And let's move on to the next journaling prompt. Tell me the story of one of the most important days of your life. It can be a good day or a bad day. That doesn't matter. Just tell the story, be honest in your emotions, and include as many details as possible. So this is what I mean when I say in these journaling prompts in this webinar, you do not have to write about your trauma. You don't have to write about the abuse or the assault. If you want to, because I'm sure that is an important day of your life. If you want to write about that, okay. But with this prompt, that you don't have to always write about that. You can write about an important day in your life that was good. Whatever you'd like and whatever makes you feel comfortable and whatever you feel that you can share with others in this webinar, please write it. So yeah, let's just take a moment. Tell me the story of one of the most important days of your life. If you want to start sending in comments, and this can be people on Zoom or on Facebook. If you share on Facebook, one of the Alliance staff will put your comment into the comments on the Zoom and I'll be able to see it. So please feel free to share. I'll give you another minute or two of quiet and you can start to type up what you'd like to share. Or if you need more time, send a comment that says, hey, could we have a few more minutes? Because that's totally okay. It's a bit hard with a webinar. I can't see everyone's faces. In an in-person workshop, I just wait until people's pencils stop moving. But it's a bit different here. So please send a message and say, hey, I actually think I need a couple more minutes or something like that. And that's okay. All right. From Facebook, we have Leto sharing, I was finally strong enough to stand up to the military and tell them what happened between the doctor and myself. No sugarcoating, no longer hiding. It was both a good day and a bad day. I stood up for myself, finally, after all those many years. The military didn't beat me down, didn't get rid of me. That was a very, very good thing for me. Bad because I had to relive everything, but I'm glad I did. Wow. That sounds like an amazing day to write about, a very important day, especially when you're reporting a sexual assault in such a large organization like the military. I imagine there's a lot of struggles that come with that. Wow. And that's good. You know, I think that when I said it can be a good day or a bad day, that probably insinuated that days are either good or bad. But as Leto has shown us, you can have a day that is both good and bad and very, very important. So when you reported to the military, told them what had happened, was that your first time telling anyone? Reporting an assault, reporting abuse can be a very difficult thing for a lot of people. Sometimes they start with, oh, let's see. Ah, okay. So Leto says that she was a brat, not active duty. All right, that's good. That's, wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that story, Leto. And I think that anyone listening, we need to acknowledge the bravery of what Leto just did. Sharing a story like that today during this webinar, I mean, that is, you know, not everyone has to be in a place where they feel that they can share in a very public setting like this, but I think it's amazing that you did. Okay, Leah says, the day I was ordained a deacon was one of the most important days of my life. I was dressed in white, and my family and friends were there. We got to the part where we knelt, and the pastors laid hands on deacons who were getting ordained and skipped me altogether. I got up, took the hand of the pastor standing next to me, put it on my head. I told him that I would not be left out, and then he blessed me. I'm beginning to see elements of control. Wow. I think there's a lot of bravery in this webinar here. I mean, it's amazing to me. I mean, so you're an ordained deacon. Interesting. I'm gonna read that again. I just want to. Don't mind me. So they passed over you to be blessed as a deacon, to be ordained. Well, that's amazing. I think that one thing I'm seeing here in the important days of our lives that people are writing about is that we're writing about times when we were brave. See, Leah says, yeah, I think they forgot about me. Yeah, it looks like they forgot about you. But you stood up and said, no, I'm being ordained and I need this blessing. And you were brave. I think that the stories that are being shared, it seems like the important days of our lives, the ones that we remember, whether they're good or bad, it seems like one thing that stands out to people a lot is days that they were brave, days they stood up. Leto, who shared her story earlier about reporting an assault by a military doctor, says that she had tried to tell someone many, many years earlier. They didn't want to hear it, but she didn't give up. I've been fighting them for 47 years. I will keep fighting them. Wow. You keep up that fight. Absolutely. And I'm very sorry that you weren't listened to when you first tried to report. It's something a lot of women deal with. They tell people that are close to them, they tell officials, and they're not listened to. But I'm happy that you didn't give up and that you kept speaking. You kept speaking out. That's amazing. And that's the power that telling your story can have. Let's see. Monica shared and said, it's hard to choose a particular important day of my life, knowing that every day brings a newfound lesson and emotions, new people, and new skills to learn. But if I had to choose, I would choose the day I decided that I was meant for more. I believe that I was given a second chance and a second shot at doing what was best for me back in 2022. It wasn't a good year for me to start off, but it's a year I came out of my safe space, knocked out the fear of rejection I had, and got back to school, started to trust love, and gotten close to my family in this year. I've started a new journey. And I feel like ever since, I've decided to put forth my strength and positive thoughts in every negative situation I've come across. I've learned to defeat. Wow. I mean, so Monica, seems like Monica's had a lot of important days that all have come together to create a very positive change in her life. She's getting out of her safe space, her comfort zone. And I think getting out of your comfort zone can be anxiety inducing. It can be painful sometimes, but I think it always leads to better things. Leaving the thing that you're familiar with or the thing that you're comfortable with and trying to be something new, do something new. I think that can have an amazing impact. Wow. Oh my goodness. Do we have any more thoughts? It can be from people who have already shared thoughts or from new people. I do think a theme today is bravery. Seems like all the things that we're sharing are ways, the important days of your life are the days that you stood up, days that you decided that you deserved more, you deserved better, that you weren't going to be skipped over. It's amazing. I'll give it one more minute just in case anyone else wants to share. And if not, we'll move on. So let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. All right, sharing your story. Here's the truth. Sharing your story, especially when it involves significant trauma, can be terrifying. If you want, you can start by practicing storytelling with yourself in your journal. Write about what happened, write make-believe stories, write poems, write nonsense, but use your journal as a way to get to know yourself and better understand your story. So you don't have to go from I'm not telling anyone to I'm telling everyone. Everyone has to know. I have to tell everyone. No, you don't have to do that. You want to start just by telling yourself stories from your life in your journal, going through old memories, going through the events of a traumatic event that happened, or the events of good days, whatever you want. They're all parts of your story. And before you start sharing that story with other people, sometimes it can help just to write it all out for yourself, get it out of here and onto a piece of paper. It can help you wrap your mind around what happened. Okay, do we have any comments from anyone? I'm not seeing any, but I would love to hear. Monica says, I have shared a story of a traumatic event that I experienced with a couple of friends. At first, I was scared of judgment, but when I finished, to my surprise, a couple of my friends started sharing their experiences also, and it made us closer. It also showed that we have to be kind because we never know what battles the other person is battling. That's exactly right. I mean, I think fear of judgment is a really common fear, especially when sharing something that was traumatic. I think that there's always fear of judgment. I think especially when you look at people who have experienced assault. I mean, one thing that I was very afraid of, because I'm a survivor of assault. One thing that I was afraid of when I told people was I was afraid that people would think it was my fault, that people would judge something I had done, or that, somehow there would be judgment. And the truth is, you can't stop people from judging you. You can't. You have no control over it. But you can learn to cope with the fact that people are going to judge you and find people that don't judge you. Like Monica found friends that she could talk to. She found friends that she could talk to. Turns out they had things to share too. I think that sharing your story can help build a closer relationship with some of the people around you, because they know that you're opening up fully and that you're being vulnerable and that you're being honest. And I think Monica showed a great thing about how sharing your story can actually help build stronger and deeper relationships with the people that you love and the people around you. Let's see. Okay, Leah said, I am a sexual abuse overcomer. When I first shared my story, it was in front of hundreds of people. Wow. It was bad. It came out with so much hatred. It took a while, but I realized I had to go through some healing process. It wasn't until I found that healing and grace that I was able to share my story and use it constructively to help others. But it must begin with small steps and start sharing with those you can trust and are able to help you. Wow. You shared your story for the first time in front of hundreds of people? Oh my goodness. I don't think I ever could have done that, at least initially. Now, I guess I do it. I tell people all the time in workshops and everything. Oh, she says it was in church. So you shared your story of your abuse in church. Wow. Well, I personally don't think that adults tell other adults that they're proud of them enough. I think we tell children all the time that we're proud of them, but we don't tell other adults. So, Leah, I am proud of you that you stood up and told your whole church what had happened. Let's see. What else did she say? She said, it was in church. I was told I had to preach a sermon. It was my first time, and I was a teenager. Oh my goodness. I can't even imagine. Not my church, a different church with my team. Okay. Okay. So is that a totally different church? Interesting. I think that it's really beautiful that you said that it wasn't until you had found great healing and grace that you were able to share your story and use it constructively to help others. And I do think that sharing our stories can help others. I really do think it can. And I think that Leah touches on an important thing here, healing and grace. So healing, sometimes it happens over time. Sometimes we really have to actively pursue healing, I think. And grace, I think sometimes the hardest thing is giving grace to yourself. Grace and kindness and gentleness to yourself. We can be hard on ourselves a lot. So she says that once she found grace and healing, she was able to use her story to help other people. Not just telling the story, but telling it as a way to help others. Okay. Leto says, only 2 family members know about the doctor. They only know a small portion. I don't want them to know all the specifics, afraid they wouldn't believe me. I haven't told any friends. I'm at a point in my life where I'm working on telling the media because mine is not an isolated case. Other doctors in the military have sexually assaulted their patients. Still working on getting my courage up. I'm not the only survivor of this doctor. I'm fighting for them and myself, for the active duty and the veterans who are survivors of military sexual trauma. Wow. Okay. Well, I think that both of your stories touch on something that a lot of people have experienced, how sometimes it's easier to tell people you don't know than to tell the people that you know. So, one person that shared said that they first told people they told 100 people at a church that wasn't their church. And then Leto said that she's having trouble telling her family members, but she wants to start talking to the media because she wants to save other people from going through what she went through. I think sometimes it is a hard thing to wrap your head around, that somehow it's easier to tell strangers than it is to tell people that are close to you, your family. I think that's why so many people responded to Me Too, They could just throw it out into the world and not have to focus on specifically telling their mother or their best friend or their father or whoever. Let's see here. Leto says to Leah, how brave you are. You are someone to look up to. Thank you. That's true. I mean, although I think just based on these comments, I think that everyone in this webinar is someone to look up to. Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone in this webinar is someone that we can be looking up to. There's a lot of bravery, and you're brave telling one person, you're brave telling 100 people. It's up to you how much you share your story. And even if you don't share your story, journaling can be helpful for helping you get your story out on paper. At least, even if you don't want to tell another person, it's out of your head and onto the paper. One thing, if you have undergone any kind of therapy, or if you're considering undergoing therapy, one thing that I did as part, because I had post-traumatic stress disorder after I was assaulted. I had PTSD. I had flashbacks and insomnia, the whole 9 yards. One thing that I had to do as part of overcoming that with a trained mental health professional, which is not me. I'm not that. I am a writer. But with a trained mental health professional, one thing you can do is tell the story repeatedly with a mental health professional, if that's something that they think could help you. That's something that was done with me as part of my treatment for PTSD. It could be something that could help you, or there's a different treatment. It's up to you. If we go to the next slide, we'll see some information about reaching out for help. Reaching out for help is, it can be hard. If we could go to the next slide. Okay, so if you are a survivor of sexual assault, domestic violence, abuse, stalking, any other kind of trauma, learning to cope is vital. And learning to thrive, learning to not just have survived something, but to thrive in your life past it. While journaling and meditation can help to a certain extent, don't be afraid to reach out if you need additional help. Do not be afraid to reach out. The American Samoa Alliance Against Domestic and Sexual Violence can help direct you towards resources on island that can help you. They can direct you towards events like this, learn some coping mechanisms, like my workshops help with meditation and journaling, but the Alliance has done other workshops with artists. You could see if other kinds of creative expression can help you. They also do all sorts of community events and talks, provide resources on their website, and I'm sure they could help you find any kind of help that you might need. Those of you who are on this call, on this webinar, do you think, let me know in the comments, do you think you will continue to pursue things like meditation and journaling and storytelling and writing beyond this webinar? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to talk about it. One thing that I heard a lot in the Healing Through Writing workshop, the very first time I did it I did it with the staff at the Alliance. And Miss Judy, who started this call, saying, how much she enjoyed my workshop. That first day, that first workshop she attended, she said, "Oh, I don't like to write very much." A lot of people said, "I don't like to write very much." Sometimes it goes back to high school English class that you failed. Sometimes it just goes back to feeling like other people are better writers and there's no point in you trying because other people are better than you. There's all sorts of reasons people don't like to write. But hopefully this webinar will give you a little bit of confidence to write, even if it's just for yourself. But if you do want to write to share your story with others, I think that's an amazing way to use this kind of creative expression. And if you want to attend an in-person workshop, the Healing Through Writing workshop will be happening in May. It's going to be on May 2nd, 9th, and 16th from 2 to 6. So you come for 4 hours once a week, and we work our way through different meditation exercises, journaling exercises, poetry writing. And at the end of that, if you want to share your story, if you want to share what you've written, the Alliance, I'm working with them to publish the writing of workshop participants. Even after this webinar today, I just thought of it. If you would like to reach out to me or to the Alliance, so, the Alliance's email and contact info is all over their Facebook. You can email me at malangacreativeco@gmail.com. So MALAGA creativeco@gmail.com. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to the Alliance. If you wrote something from the webinar today, and you'd like us to include it in what we're going to be publishing on the Alliance's website, it can be anonymous or not, I'd love for you to reach out. I'd love to work out something where we could do that. It could be, we're preferring to, I want to publish as much creative stuff from survivors as I can. Let's see. Leah says, absolutely. Leto says, definitely. Everything helps. Okay, I'm happy that you guys are going to be using this meditation and journaling. And seriously, if you do want to learn more in person, please come. May 2nd, 9th, and 16th. The Alliance will definitely be putting out flyers about it. Please come in person. I'd love to meet you if I can. And I'd love to spend 3 whole days learning about writing for you, with you guys. One thing I would like us to do, as we get to the end of this webinar, is I'd like us to do some more breathing and meditation, because odds are in your writing, you probably wrote some things that brought up memories, maybe gave you some feelings, and now you have to go through the rest of your day. Well, for a lot of us, it's the rest of our work day, having just spent the morning. Leah says, thank you so much, Mary and the Alliance, for putting this together. Yes, I am so thankful to the Alliance, the America Samoa Alliance Against Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault. The Alliance has made this webinar, it's made the Healing Through Writing workshop that I'm doing, it's made that possible and accessible and free to community members. Letta wants my email address again. Okay, my email address is malangacreativeco@gmail.com. So MALAGCREATIVECO And here, I'll type it in the comments right now. Oh, they got it. Thank you, Alliance. Whoever at the Alliance just put my email in the comments. Thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, please, the Alliance is always available. People, you can reach out and talk to them. If you'd like to talk to me about this workshop and about, future workshops I'm doing with the Alliance, please, you can email me directly. That's totally fine. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to share anything you wrote, you're welcome to. So yeah, I am very thankful to the Alliance for making this workshop possible and accessible to the community. And for, I love writing. I appreciate them giving me a platform where I can share my love of writing with the rest of you. So now, to end our workshop, we're just going to take a little while and do some mindfulness, do some meditation and breathing, because you guys are going to be going through the rest of your day, having just gone to a writing workshop that's mainly focused on, sexual assault, domestic violence, these things. Let's just take a moment to kind of take a step away from that, breathe a little bit, and then if we don't have any additional questions, I'll be letting you guys go. So, if you guys could close your eyes again. You're going to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. One more time, take a deep breath in and out. Keep your eyes closed. Keep breathing at a pace that feels comfortable to you. You are safe. You are supported. You can go into the rest of your day knowing that you took some time to care for yourself, to learn more about yourself. Keep breathing in and out. If there are any parts of your body that feel tense, that are in pain at all, keep your eyes closed, but go ahead and stretch those out a bit. I'm going to put my arms above my head a little bit. Focus on the way your chest expands and contracts with every breath. That's all we're doing, is taking just a few moments just to breathe. Breathe in and out. In and out. All right. Whenever you're comfortable, you can open up your eyes again. If anyone has any questions about journaling or meditation, please type them in the comments now. I'd love to go ahead and have a little question and answer time before we hand things back over to Judy and the Alliance. Any questions? It can be about writing, about journaling, about storytelling. About meditation, mindfulness. Okay, so someone at the Alliance just asked, aside from the language, how different would this be if done in Samoan? Let's see here. So I know that the Samoan culture, I mean, storytelling has been a very vital part of Samoan culture. I'm not Samoan. I'm Palangi. I've lived here 4 years and I don't speak Samoan. I know all my Samoan that I know is about art, like siapo, and food. And that's basically it. We are talking, me and the Alliance, about doing Samoan language versions of the Healing Through Writing workshop. So that's something that's in the works. And whenever that is set and in place, the Alliance will definitely be posting about it. I think that it is important to offer things in English and Samoan for the people of this island, because there are people who are very confident in English and there are people who are much more confident and comfortable when speaking Samoan. So that's something that I would be very happy to work closely with the Alliance to create, and to help them, feel confident leading a workshop like this, or like the Healing Through Writing workshop in Samoan. So yeah, I don't know enough about the Samoan language to really know how different the language change would make the workshop, but I imagine that it would do nothing but add benefits. Leto says, thank you and the American Samoa Alliance for everything you are doing. Thank you to all the wonderful women who are in this webinar. I learned a lot from you. Thank you, Leto. I feel like we all learned a lot from you too. I feel like all the people in this webinar have learned a lot from each other. So thank you for joining.
All right. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. And we hope that you have a great day. Thank you so much. Soy Fua Maya Maria.